Sure. Welcome back to a new YouTube tutorial. Today we're gonna continue working on Venom, episode 4, I think. I have my buddy here, Ludwig.
Hi.
He's gonna help with some comments and stuff like that. So hope you enjoy. Let's begin. Okay, let's see. What's the first thing I do? I am doing right here now. I'm hiding just to see different proportions and see how the legs look by themselves and together with the arms.
Do you make the muscles here? So you make the muscles. So when you like a strong guy, when they show their arms, is how do you do the muscles? Or how do you do it? So make them stick out.
The important thing when you talk about muscles, the important thing to think about is to really use the damp standard tool to really cut them in so they go a little bit deeper and really subtract from the parts that's not muscles, so the muscles pop really much. That was a good question. You can also really think about how the muscles connect to the bony landmarks. So when you look, it's really hard with the connection between the leg and the foot, because if you connect everything not correctly, it's gonna look very weird.
When you did the muscles on the legs, did you use how strong it's going to be? So people can be different strong. Do you use a type of strong as a bodybuilding where you start working out?
Yeah, when you sculpt legs, especially legs, it's very tricky to get legs right. So be sure to use a lot of reference from bodybuilders when you create a character as strong as Venom.
Yes.
And I'm using a lot of references from Jay Cutler, Robert Coleman, and guys is of their big size.
But big guys with much muscles.
Yeah.
Very strong guys.
Very, very strong guys. It's really important to reference, because without the reference, it's very hard to make something look photoreal.
Is the legs 100% like each other? Or they have something different? Are they complete both the same legs?
Right now I'm sculpting them symmetrically, so right now they are 100% exactly the same.
Just because they use two different sizes. But left and right.
In real life, they are a little bit different sizes and a little bit different how the muscles connect to the body. So you will more often than not, when you sculpt the sculpture, go back and sculpt some asymmetrical, so it's not exactly the same on both sides. And that's very important to make it look more real and really without imperfections.
It's like a real person's leg. If a bodybuilder you stretch the legs, they will stretch the legs too. It's the same as a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Just this Venom instead if a real person.
Yeah, and now let's see here now. I'm working on the butt right here now.
Is the butt, how can I say this?
How can you say this without getting PG-18?
Yes. Is the butt as a strong butt, as a well worked out butt, not a regular butt? So.
No, to get as I said in the last video, to get the butt to look more strong, really focus on that the butt muscles are two muscles laid on top of each other. So really make sure that you get two circles or clumps like you see there, defined so it looks more strong.
So there are two muscles, or human muscles, but in Venom.
Yeah, but Venom is completely based on human anatomy, except for the head, because...
Yes, the head, and I think that the body is very big to be a real person. Also, is probably a person, but more, how do you say this? The body is just perfect in every way, so it's probably not 100% from a real body. Just have some inspiration from a real body.
That's true. You always gotta exaggerate features when you create something like a CGI character.
But they have some they took some little small things from a real body, but made them bigger and a little bit stronger.
Yeah, that's true. Like making the waist a little bit smaller and the back a little bit bigger, so it looks bigger and stronger.
And the arms as the same strength as it look the same strong as the legs. They look the same strong.
You think they look the same strength?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very important to create like the enormity of the arms, because a character like Venom is gonna like climb buildings and all of this kind of stuff. So he's gonna use his arms a lot, and that's really important to make them big and really make them like make them look like they can rip a guy's head off.
Does he have a 6-pack or 8-pack? So,
Yeah, he has 6-pack, yeah. But right now I'm just indicating the abs with a line, so I don't need to focus on them right now. Because it's much easier to indicate things and then add complexity on top of very basic shapes than just go to the complex shapes right away. And let's see here. Right now I'm sculpting the back muscle here. The V shape is really important for a big and strong character like Venom.
is it a big V shape or a little bit as an average V shape from a bodybuilder? Some people have very big V shapes and some don't even be bodybuilders.
Yeah, I think I exaggerated the V shape a little bit, but
It's an alien, so that's a little bit different.
But when you like have your back forward like that,
Yes.
the V shape is getting pushed inwards. They're not gonna look as much as a V shape, but I still exaggerated it a bit.
That is an alien, so actually, if you were a real person, it's not as good, but it's an alien, so there you can use it as an excuse.
That's true. And here I'm sculpting the trapezius muscle. I started to indicate it.
That's the very. He has very big muscles. Also, do you want to show people that he's very strong? So you see big muscles. So does he very working out? Does he looks very strong, but is he very strong? So that's a big question.
And that's true. And when I create this trapezius muscle, it's really important that it connects to the deltoid, connects to the shoulder deltoid area, connects up behind the neck and to the lower back. And it's like, I would almost say, yeah, it's kind of like star shape, kinda. It's a very weird muscle, but it's one of the biggest muscles of the back, so you need to really like nail that muscle to make the back look natural.
And his breasts are they very are they the same shape, as they're very sticking out a lot, and at the same time they are very close together.
Yeah, I pushed them outwards and made that ginormous like cutting at the middle of the chest area, just so he could, because that makes him look more like stronger. But his arms weren't open like this, so I couldn't have like the chest muscles be wide. He has his arm more together, so then the chest muscle is gonna be pushed together. But the volume doesn't become any less big, so you need to push it outwards to make the volume still the same. And remember that chest muscles on males are very rectangular and not very like they're not very round.
And this is a big question: does he look the same when he's flexing, and when he's not flexing? Does he look the same or look stronger when he's flexing?
He's always gonna look stronger when he's flexing, because you're gonna see some striations on the muscle.
Just like a human.
Yeah, just like a human, but it's Venom, so you can exaggerate it as much as you want. It can look really cool. But you always need to remember to use a lot of reference.
You don't know what I like about Venom. He's an alien, so he can be as strong as you want him to be. He doesn't have to be strong, he can be little too. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, you can make him exactly how you want.
Yes, as long as he looks like a little bit like Venom, you cannot change the face very much, but the body you can change very much. So he can be in different forms. He can be small and he can be big.
That's true, and I created this scapula there on the back. It's really important to get the bony landmarks in on the back. So I know I made a really awful back in the start here, so I just in the end ended up erasing the entire back I created and just recreating it.
Let me see. Should not the back stick out on the sides instead in the middle side sticking out?
Wait,
Very
what?
strong. Now, in this side here is sticking out, but this side middle is not sticking out.
No, I gonna erase the entire back because I didn't like the back I was creating.
Right.
This ain't the final back. Yeah, but the muscles are sticking out a lot more later.
Alright, so it's very big and strong.
Yeah, because the... How do you say this? If you don't get the back muscles right when it has this like curve, it's really hard to get the back muscles right because when it's curved, the muscles change their form kinda. So if you don't really focus on where they sit and all this kind of stuff, you're gonna mess up. And
Is the bicep and triceps as the same as big as each other? It's the same big.
no,
Same size.
they're not the same size. The tricep is always gonna be wider and a little bit bigger.
Yes.
You see the tricep from multiple different angles,
Yes.
but the bicep is more only viewed from one angle. So it's really important to put more time on the tricep than the bicep. And I would really recommend just doing some light sculpting on just creating some arms. And here I'm just hiding and seeing what I like and don't like about the back. But as I said, I'm gonna change it up later, because I don't like this back at all right now.
It's very good actually. It looks very strong as a human person, but it's something. He's very big. It looks very wide and from the arms. So this is very sticking up very much. So he looks enormous on the upside, but a little bit smaller on the downside.
Yeah, you mean the legs?
Yes, they look very big as not as big as the opposite, very big too.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very common. Often the arms or legs are bigger than the other. But in Venom, the arms, the opposite and the legs are actually very equal size.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not happen very often.
No, but right now I'm just trying to get the base shapes of the arm. The indication of the legs are gonna be, the muscles are gonna be way more sharpened up later on.
Right.
Because right now it's just blocking in everything and trying to get this sculpture. It's not gonna get finished on this video, but trying to get it to a point where I can easily work it up.
Yes, this is a big. When you do the head, or this is gonna be the same as Venom with the same head.
It's gonna be kind of like Venom's head, but Venom's head is very difficult to create. It looks very simple, but I've tried it before and it's really, really tricky.
It takes time.
Yeah, so I'm saving it to the end so I have more topology so I can work it up easily. And now I'm just indicating some very easy like tendons in the foot, in the feet. Yeah, sorry for that. I already just needed a favor, so I just helped him out a little bit. But I'm back now, so let's continue. Okay, so right here I'm just blocking in the overall shapes of the foot and refocusing on like the bony landmarks, because the feet, it's really hard to get them right in the beginning, but with practice they're gonna become better. But I don't like creating either hands or feet, so I have a pretty hard time with creating them. So this video is gonna basically be mostly about hands and feet, I think.
When we talk about the hands, the fingers, they have claws.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make the claws, right?
Yeah.
They're very. I think Venom's fingers are very long in for alien, not very long, They try to look average long as fingers.
Yes.
But the claws make it look very much longer.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna create. Oh, wait, I just need to take this first.
Yes.
Here I'm indicating where the toes are gonna be with a damp standard brush, just like really slightly just indicating, so I know exactly how I want the foot to be, because it's gonna be like standing towards the surface, right? So you need to have that tension between the toes and the upper foot.
I'm not really very much into foot, but I thought Venom's feet were like as a medieval as a shoe, just sticking out like this, this form.
Yeah, that's in the comic books. That's how it is.
Yes.
But in the new Venom movies, he actually had toes.
I didn't thought much about the feet, just about the rest of the legs and the body and the rest. I'm not very much as a foot guy.
No, now you get in this video too.
Not like that. Not like that. I mean, not in
Okay.
movies.
We just let it go and continue talking.
Yeah.
So I'm just creating the basic shape of the feet with really focusing on.
Can feet be very? Can you train your feet? I never heard about it, but I thought you can train your feet and make them look strong.
No, I had never heard of that. I don't think you can.
Does Venom have any usual feet or just toes?
He has completely normal like feet, but he has no toenails.
I thought he had toenails.
He has no toenails. He has claws.
Yes, they're taking it a little bit as toenails. So not as a. I think there's a look old feet, but it sometimes look like a warrior feet. So he looks like a warrior.
Yeah, but he has claws.
He looks like a warrior type, his body, but I think with the claws he looks more like a villain. So
yeah, the claws is this like spike pointy shapes, and pointy shapes make him look evil.
yes.
So I'm always trying to add more and more pointy shapes.
Not many good guys have pointy shapes on the body, just on the weapons, but he has it. So he's a good guy, but he looks like a bad guy at the same time.
That's true. That's why I'm adding a lot of like really strong shapes with a lot of contrast. Contrast really helps him to look even more evil if I add a lot of contrast to some of the muscles. And then the curvature is very round on his back, but when I have as much contrast and pointy and a lot of pointy areas, he still looks very evil.
He looks evil, he acts evil, but he's technically a good guy.
Yeah, but that's just the movie. Now it's just about this like
Yes, it's
character design
Yes.
process.
It's not very often that happens. Often they look good in some way, where he looks very bad and acts bad, but he's a good guy in some ways.
Yeah, but Venom is very.
That's what I like about Venom. He's a little bit special and usual. He's something new. He's something new. As a new, not just the old version. So if you look bad, you are bad. You look good, you are good.
Yeah, but we just need to talk about the hands here a little bit quickly.
Yes.
You can see how the hands, I indicate the fingers with the damn standard, just to know.
Yes, 5 fingers, right?
Yeah.
Not four, like 5 fingers.
Yeah, and then I'm taking the move brush to just move the topology out of the way, so I can really easily see how the fingers come to life. Just a very basic shape. Take some time, so do it very carefully, so you don't erase half of your fingers. Because fingers to create them from scratch is really a pain in the ass. I wouldn't recommend it, but I would recommend to take a hand you created before and just add it.
So the hand fingers are gonna be like this. You have some. The middle finger is the longest, and the finger here, the little finger is the smallest.
Yeah, the little fingers.
It's gonna be like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a human.
And the toes too. The big toe is the biggest. You hear the big toe.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. True. It was a good say. Yeah, here you can see I'm just separating the toes as well. It looks awful right now, but I just need new topology, so I very easily can sculpt them up and create some really nice toes later.
When you do the toes, like you use some head for some. Do you take some pictures to use it to help us make a toes? Or you just take Venom pictures?
In this sculpture, I have done a lot of sculptures before, so I could like some basics from before. So I just did this with on freehand, but I would recommend using reference. You can always, and I guess if you're watching this, you're a human, so most likely you have hands and you have feet and you have legs, arms, all these kind of body parts. So use your own body and look yourself in the mirror. How does it look when I bend the foot this way? How does it look when I bend my back forward? How does it look when I bend my neck forward? All this kind of stuff. You can always use yourself as reference. And here you can see I'm just looking, is it the hands, is the feet and the hands the problem, or the body the problem?
One question just, you said why he's in that just position, Venom?
Why he's sitting like that?
That's why he's in just that position.
I saw a concept image, like kinda in that position, and I really liked that image, so I just felt like, let's go with that. It's a new shape, and I have for a long time wanted to create legs that are like bent in that way, because it's get all these interesting shapes with the muscles. Everything is like pushed together, and there is a lot of interesting stuff going on. I haven't really wanted to do it because it's looks pretty hard. I would say it's pretty tricky to get it right, but it's worth it. So
this is another question. How long time do you take to make Venom like that? How long?
All of my videos is in real time, or all of my tutorial videos. So I think this is like 2 hours in, maybe 3 hours in.
The whole, so when you start making it until now?
Yeah, like 3 hours or something.
I thought you were gonna say 3 days, but that's very good.
Oh, this is like 3 hours, but in the beginning this would take me more than 3 days to create, so don't feel stressed out. It takes a lot of time. With practice, speed comes with practice, so
just take your time and it will be good.
Yeah, and make it good, and try to get it posted, and like it's really fun.
See what other people think about it, so they do the same thing.
Yeah, and ask for critique, because you can't progress if you don't ask for critique. And don't be scared for critique, because yeah, sure, it can be very hurtful if somebody says something stupid. I've heard some comments from this guy before, but that just gives you the motivation. Remake that. If you get angry about that, remake the anger to motivation. So you just go back, change it, and make it look even better, and then post it back, and you can show the world what you have created.
Yep, there's a professional guy here.
And now we're just sculpting some. Now the toes are starting to look, the base shapes
more like a
pretty good.
Venom.
Yeah, it's starting to get there. And when you added the toes, it starts to make him look a little bit more like done, and not this like rough.
I think when we started this video, when he didn't have toes and fingers, it probably not look far from done, but actually when you do that, it looks very much done actually, not even the head is not done yet.
That's true, but that's only because you don't have hands or feet, or they are not done. We wonder why is there no hands or feet, so make sure to get them done in start making them more detailed in the middle of the process or something, so you can see how it looks. You can always, I'm not gonna show this in this tutorial, but if you want to create detail, like micro detail,
detail,
really close. If you look like on my Craig sculpture I just posted, you can see like skin pores and stuff like that. If you want me to create a tutorial on that, please just write in the comments, and we'll see if we can solve something for that. Okay, now we're masking out each finger.
Why is it black actually?
Yeah, that's the masking. So I masked out the finger just so I could work with the finger without it
Just
destroying
everything else.
Yeah.
Just the finger, not all the fingers.
Yeah, the white part is where I can work, and the black part is where...
Just is what it is when you started.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to really work up the fingers to really get some basic shape. They look awful in the beginning, so... but they look a lot better than those like kind of like sausages.
Yes.
That they look like right now.
Chicken wings, like.
Kinda. So you just keep working at it, and like all this kind of nice stuff. It would be look very good in the end, but you need to work a lot to make it happen.
I think some people actually think just when you start with this, it's going to look bad, but look good at the end. Always in the start it looks bad, but in the end it looks good.
Yeah, just keep working at it. You're gonna become better and better, but it's gonna take some time. And hands and feet are very difficult with and heads as well with anatomical references, because you don't like really indicate muscles at the same way, so you really need to like memorize how to create hands, feet and heads, and then have a lot of reference. Which in my case right here, I didn't use a ton of reference. Used some, but it was for tutorial, so I didn't want to take too long time to create the hands. Otherwise you can sit like 3 days just sculpting the hands, and that's a lot of work, and I don't think...
3 days straight.
Yes.
Tomorrow, the morning to night.
Yes.
That's a long time. I don't know if professionals work even longer with that. For that.
Professionals often start with a really good base, so they can often just speed it up.
Yes.
But if you're gonna create it from scratch and you want like a photoreal hand, it can probably take like, I don't know, 20 hours or something.
Not everyone has seen everything. Do you start just with a round thing, or just let's say this?
Yeah, in
4 shapes. So how do you start? How did you start to do making it from something?
in episode 1 I showed how I created it from a sphere. So if you want to see how to create one of these guys for yourself, just go to the first tutorial and you can just follow along with any software, Blender, Zbrush, Mudbox.
Yes.
Feel free, just go ahead, and we just talk about the process, so you can just like understand how I'm understand how I work. I'm not the best at this, but I'm trying to just show the process, or my process, and now the fingers are starting to get some basic shapes, and the thumb is gonna need to be a little bit longer.
And this video is we're not forcing you to make this, use this. You can make your own version of it.
Yeah, of course.
It's just helping out to make it some version of it, or just try to make it.
Yeah, this is just Venom. You could, if you want to, you can sculpt anything you would like. This is just tips and tricks, kinda like. Just choose a topic you're passionate about and work on it. Art is supposed to be fun. It can be hard to keep motivated sometimes if you do art too much. I've done now 3D in like 3 years now.
It's not. I think it's not 4 years. I think.
No, it's 3 years. 3 years and like 3 months.
Well, it's not. I thought it was 4 years.
It's not 4 years. I can promise that.
All right.
My 3rd year, and I'm getting towards my 4th year, so that's maybe what you was thinking of. It takes a lot of time, and it's hard to keep. I have been working like relatively much, so it's just really try to stay motivated. Now we just creating some tendons on the hand, just to get the basic shapes.
When you can see the skeleton when you move fingers, you can see this moving every time you move fingers.
That's really important, get the knuckles and tendons in through fingers and hands, so you really get that shapes and form that you need, because otherwise it looks a little bit too flat, or not really done. You see, now when adding the hands there, the body is starting to look a lot better. And then when you render, if you have hands then... Oh, sorry, I'm really tired. If you have hands, it's really gonna make a difference. But you see, my hands are not super good right now, so I think I'm redoing them a little bit later. But you can clearly see how Venom is starting to come to life now. You see, I'm very much just hiding the rest of the body just to work on the hands. That's because it's way easier to just work on the hands separately, so all my focus is only on the hands and not on the entire body.
You only work as a one part of the body. So you work with legs, but you work with legs and the arms at the same time, or the fingers, or the whole hand at the same time.
You work with everything at the same time, where you go from one part to the next.
Yes.
And that's a lot of fun, but sometimes I just need to focus on one part, so then I hide the rest of the body.
It's very specific, as I have specific things. You only work with that.
Yeah, wait, before I answer the question, I just need to say, on the hands, it was way more pointy before, but on the wrist right here, but it didn't look like the hand could actually sit like that, so I decided to make it a little bit more bendy, the hand.
The hand is supposed to look like it can do this. So you move like this. It's supposed to do that. But it looks like it can only have probably some positions.
Yeah, when you create a hand, it's really difficult. And the area in between here and here, it's really difficult to get right, especially if you have like the hand moving or something. It can be a really hard challenge.
You mean like this or what?
Yeah.
Can you make this part here? So you do this? It's like
yeah,
a skeleton here.
The arm, when you bend it from one side to the next,
Yes, like this.
the skeleton rotates and the arm rotates and the muscles, they look completely different. You can't. It's very difficult to get them right.
Does it make as a? Do you have a skeleton inside? I mean, also, if he moves apart, you can see skeleton here. Is it the same for this Venom? So if you move, it looks like he has a skeleton. Alright.
Yeah, you gotta. It's very important to create a skeleton inside of him, or at least show the bony landmarks.
To make it look more real. So, can you make this look 99% real, as Venom?
Like in the movie?
Yes, 99% as real. So not in colors, just body shape, the body.
That's a pretty hard question, but
100% is very hard, and I know about 99%.
But if you give me like longest time I've taken on a project is like 4 months, and I got it pretty nice looking. I can't say I can get it to a level like they do in the cinemas, but I hope I'll be there in a few years, because it's really hard.
I think in some year, not a few years.
We get to see it's a lot of work. I have a problem in the arm there, a spike, so I'm just gonna erase that, because that looks weird.
It's a photo that it looks like it has spikes with some small holes just inside the wing.
And now he's pretty much starting to come together, anatomy is starting to get in place. The muscle still needs to be a little bit more sharpened up, so he looks stronger, but he's starting to get there.
Does he have blood veins? When you very strong have blood veins here, does he has that?
He has that, but
much bigger or smaller. I didn't see that very. I didn't see that very much for Venom, and it's not very. You can see he has much muscles, not the blood veins.
But he has blood veins, but I ain't gonna add them on this sculpture, because that's more like in the detailed part. So if you want me to make a detailed part on Venom, I can do that, but let me know, because I haven't planned to do that, but I can. If you want, I can show a lot more on this character. because I've only like started working on this guy.
It looks like you are working in very, very long.
Oh, this is just a sketch, basically.
Mm.
But sketches can take a long time. Okay, let's see here now. Yeah, now I'm taking the flatten brush and just making some planes where I feel it's appropriate. Really to indicate how the form goes and how the flow of the creature goes. And that's really important. Let's see here now.
And then I will just go to legs again. When it's a legs like the whole leg like a human leg. Well, I don't think his legs are very much different from human leg.
Now Venom's anatomy is based on, or my Venom version is based on human anatomy. So every single muscle exists in a human.
In some way, so not all from the same person. Some is from some other different person.
I'm just exaggerating them and creating them, making them look more ridiculous and more strong looking. Because otherwise it's gonna look too weak. It sounds crazy to say that when he has a large muscle like this sculpture right there.
Yeah.
But oh, I'm adding the abs. The abs aren't like perfect straight lines like this. They are actually kind of like curved down like this. So make sure that you don't just do like a line that like this. Make sure they are like bent.
Another question. It looks like he has an 8-pack.
He might have that. I don't know.
The one too big high up here looks like he's actually a part of the 6-pack, or a pack.
I don't know if I gave him a 6-pack or an 8-pack.
Well, you can see the 6 ones here.
Yeah, I gave him an 8-pack. That's true.
Yes, but it's actually those two high up are more bigger than the other ones.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change that in the end, but I didn't want to spend too much time on the like abs, because they aren't really like shown in this sculpture, so it's not worth taking the time to really make them perfect. But you need to just to start getting some shapes in the right places. I think giving him
Do you know you make everything right? You're supposed to do something right, yes, but you make something wrong and then figure out very much as long afterwards.
yeah, that's often how it goes.
You make something, then you think it's right, then you thought then some days afterwards it's wrong.
And then I just go in and change it. I just work it up and just make it look nicer, because
You do mistakes too.
yeah, everybody does mistakes. I am in no way a perfect sculptor. I have a very, very, very long way to go. I've started with this when I was 13. Now I'm 16, so I have a few years before I really can get into the industry for real. So I hope to learn a lot more about sculpture in the next like 10 years now. Then I hope I am on pro level.
Yes.
Okay, now you can see it's really muscles are really being defined here.
You can see the muscles. They're very, very visible. You can see them very good.
Yeah, they're starting to get defined. I'm trying to define the muscles as much as I possibly can, because otherwise they kind of gonna look a little bit boring. They're not gonna have any interest. They need, but the muscles you want people to focus on, like in this case, the legs and the arms, make them extra defined so people look right on those places, and then keep the rest of him like kind of a little bit more loosely, because then people will look at those, because their eyes goes directly to contrast. So if you have a little bit part of the leg being really contrasted and everything else being a little bit more rough, the first place you will watch is where the leg is having more contrast. So really focus on where you want people to look.
Well, I'm a bit tired too.
Okay, let's see here now. Now I'm adding Yeah, I'm starting with the face here.
Does he has a throat? Actually.
Yeah, a jawline.
Yes.
I'm just starting with the jawline because I'm redoing the entire face here. I've tried to do it twice already, but I didn't like it. I think it's now I actually do it to the finish line. It's really fun to sculpt the head, but it can be really, really difficult. And don't add too much topology in the beginning, because I haven't added so much topology yet. I only am like on 180,000 polygons. And that's not too much for like complete anatomy sculpture that's sitting down. If you could, use even less. Because the important is to get this like nice shapes that are really nicely constructed and not these like buckly shapes that looks like no, that's how I sculpted before, but make sure to have nice clean looking shapes and then add noise on top of them. But you not want noise from randomness, you want noise from that you know that you're adding noise on top.
You're making a head right now, right?
Yeah.
This is a question. Does he has ears?
No, he doesn't have ears. It's weird. But right now I'm just constructing the jawline.
And the jaw is his jaw is actually very famous because it's just like a yoke, it's just raised straight up.
That's true, that's true. So it takes some time. And the most tricky part that I thought was about Venom is creating his head, especially the eyes, because his eyes have so much personality in them.
They look good but are bad. Actually, the eyes.
Yeah, but they are so hard to create.
His eyes are only white, right?
Yeah.
It's just some little bit of colors, but mostly white.
And now I mashed out the body so I can very easily just bend the head forward because I didn't get enough movement to get the jaw like I wanted. But you can see here, this caused way too much destruction. So I think I just ended up with just taking the head. Yeah, like this. I just mashed out the head, inverted the mask, blurred it a little bit, and then just blur the mask a little bit, and then just straightening up the head a little bit. Yeah, like that. And from there it's way easier and it's way less destructive. And then I can open up the jaw, so he can have this like, I want him to have this long tongue out of his mouth in the end and show his teeth. So
his very long tongue, it looks like a snake's tongue.
That's true. But his tongue is really cool. So
yes.
I really wanted to show it and show people how to create an easy tongue and how
his teeth too.
And how to
it's
create
very shapen teeth, as a very so how to say this, look like vampire's teeth.
Many people create very basic teeth. I'm still gonna create basic teeth, but with a little bit more complexity in them. So I'm gonna show in a future tutorial on how to create Venom's teeth. I think it's 2 episodes to go from here, or 1, I don't know. A little bit forward at least. It's gonna be awesome to create teeth with you guys. Right now he got that curve and that straight line I talked about in episode 1, I think, with that back, when he has those giant back muscles. But I don't think his head is really showing right now, so I want to define his head a little bit more. And now I'm masking it down a little bit more, just to get a little bit more interesting shape.
Is the head the hardest thing to do on the body?
I think the head is pretty hard, but I've done a lot of heads. To do the head separately, it's still very hard. But if you're going like 80% of what you kind of know, it's not too hard, but it's still very hard.
It depends which kind of head.
It depends what. Yeah, that's true. It depends on what kind of head.
how much details you want to have the head do.
Yeah, and especially likeness sculpt. I just did Daniel Craig's sculpt. It's really hard to get the likeness, because you can have 99% right and one thing wrong, and the sculpture is not gonna look like Daniel Craig. But so you really need to work a lot on likeness. But I think it became alright in the end.
I have not seen many people make Venom said, but I think if you make it, now if you make a famous people's head, you have to make it as a very much like it to make people just think first time you see it, oh, it's him.
Mhm.
Ja, when if you see him, if you see Venom's head, you can immediately know it's Venom.
Yeah, that's because of his eyes and his like very weird structure.
It not depends if how good you do it. It just make it look have his eyes and his teeth and his as a tongue the most, and everyone will know it's Venom.
That's true. Okay, let's see here now. I think I'm gonna open up the jaw on his
Yeah,
head.
like this. Open.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do right now.
So is that a hard part to make as the jaw? So make it open and close.
I know that's not so hard, just to mask it out and drag it open.
And to make it fit with the head.
Yeah, if you look on my T-Rex time-lapse on Instagram or TikTok, you can see how he just masked it out and created polygroups. That's a really nice feature in Zbrush, so you can easily keep your geometry, keep some parts. So that's how I really quickly just opened up my T-Rex mouth. Because you want to be sure that the jaw and the upper part of the mouth
So it's open.
that they lock together perfectly. So when you bend down, that there aren't like one part is like this big and the other part is very small.
Not always the upper part bigger than the down one. Sometimes, but
Yeah, Venom can have that, but I wanted to have
so
it.
when it's closed, it's very small, and when it's open, it's very big.
Yeah, but I wanted to have it like in the movie where they are
Little bit as a equal size.
they are a very equal size because it needs to look photoreal.
I know it's not 100% equal, but little so much equal where you can know it as the don't see the difference actually.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see here now. The tutorial is coming to an end right here, but I think we've gotten this character to a pretty good
Very good
state right now.
Very good to me.
I don't think very good, it's a little bit
No.
accelerated, but it's starting to get there. And in the next episode, we're gonna keep working at him, and we're one or two parts more maybe, and we're done with him. So, hope to see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Hope you liked it, and see you guys. Bye.
Bye.